It was a crisp autumn afternoon when Max, an 8-year-old boy with a keen sense of adventure, was playing in the park near his home. The leaves crunched under his feet as he ran along the familiar paths, lost in his own world of imagination. Suddenly, he heard a faint whimper coming from the bushes. Curiosity piqued, Max approached cautiously and found a small, scruffy dog huddled under the branches, shivering and alone. Max's heart went out to the little dog. It had no collar, and its fur was matted as if it had been wandering for days. Without a second thought, Max knelt down and gently coaxed the dog out of its hiding spot. The dog looked up at him with big, pleading eyes, and Max knew he couldn't just leave it there. "I'll help you find your way home," Max whispered, determined to reunite the dog with its owner. Carrying the dog in his arms, Max set off through the neighborhood. He decided to start by asking people if they recognized the dog. As he walked down the street, he met Mrs. Thompson, an elderly woman who always sat on her porch in the afternoons. "Hello, Mrs. Thompson," Max called out. "Have you seen this dog before? I found it lost in the park." Mrs. Thompson shook her head but smiled warmly. "No, I haven't, dear. But it's kind of you to help. You know, when I was your age, I found a lost kitten on my way home from school. I took it in, and it became my best friend. Sometimes helping others, whether people or animals, can create bonds that last a lifetime." Max thanked Mrs. Thompson and continued his way, her words echoing in his mind. He decided to stop by the local bakery next, where he often bought treats after school. Inside, the air was filled with the smell of fresh bread and pastries. Mr. Patel, the baker, greeted him with a friendly nod. "Hi, Mr. Patel," Max said, holding up the dog. "Have you seen this little guy around?" Mr. Patel leaned over the counter to get a closer look. "No, I haven't seen him before, but you're doing a good thing, Max. Kindness has a way of coming back to you, you know. When I first moved here, I was struggling to get the bakery going. Then one day, a stranger came in and bought a loaf of bread. They didn't know it, but that purchase helped me get through a tough time. Sometimes small acts of kindness make all the difference." Max nodded, taking in the baker's story. He left the bakery with a renewed sense of purpose and a bag of biscuits for the dog. As they walked, the dog seemed to grow more comfortable with Max, wagging its tail and nuzzling his hand. The next stop was the community center, where Max knew lots of people gathered. As he entered, he saw a group of kids playing basketball and a few adults chatting nearby. One of the adults, a woman named Clara, noticed Max and the dog. "Hey there, Max," she said with a smile. "Who's your new friend?" Max explained how he had found the dog and was trying to find its owner. Clara listened intently and then shared her own experience. "You're doing something really special, Max. A few years ago, I volunteered at an animal shelter. I saw so many pets who were lost or abandoned, and it broke my heart. But every time one of them found a new home, it reminded me that compassion can change lives, both theirs and ours." By now, Max had spoken to several people, each of whom had shared their own stories of kindness and compassion. Though he hadn't yet found the dog's owner, he felt a deep connection to the people he had met along the way. Their stories made him realize that helping others, whether through small acts or grand gestures, was a way to make the world a better place. As the sun began to set, Max decided to make one last stop at the local animal clinic. Dr. Garcia, the veterinarian, was known for her gentle touch and love of animals. When Max arrived, she was just closing up for the day, but she welcomed him inside when she saw the dog. "Well, hello there," Dr. Garcia said, examining the dog. "He's a little thin, but otherwise healthy. It's good you found him when you did." Max explained his mission to find the dog's owner, and Dr. Garcia smiled. "You know, Max, even if we can't find his owner right away, you've already done something wonderful by caring for him. Sometimes kindness is about being there when someone or some animal needs you most." Just as Max was about to leave, the clinic door swung open and a young woman rushed in looking frantic. "Excuse me," she said, her eyes wide with worry. "I'm looking for my dog. He ran off this morning and I've been searching everywhere." Max's heart leaped as he looked at the woman and then at the dog in his arms. "Is this your dog?" he asked, holding the dog out to her. The woman's face lit up with relief and joy. "Yes, that's my Charlie," she exclaimed, tears of happiness in her eyes as she scooped the dog into her arms. Max smiled, feeling a warm glow inside. He had found the dog's owner after all. The woman thanked him profusely, promising to take better care of her dog in the future. As Max watched them leave, he felt a sense of fulfillment and pride. The journey had not only reunited a lost dog with its owner, but had also taught Max valuable lessons about kindness, compassion, and the power of small, caring acts. As he walked home, Max thought about all the stories he had heard that day. He realized that the kindness he had shown was just one part of a much larger tapestry of compassion that connected everyone in his community. And in that moment, Max knew he would always carry the lessons of the lost dog with him, spreading kindness wherever he went.